Underground, in a leafy suburb southwest of London, lies a futuristic world that's straight out of a sci-fi movie. You arrive along a tree-lined footpath leading to a small, anonymous glass building. You swipe your pass, the doors slide open, and you're presented with a spiral staircase that takes you deep down into a confusing warren of whitewashed corridors, which undulate up and down, round and round, without a corner in sight, or a door handle, or even a window. Shafts of light come down from somewhere high above. Occasionally a friendly uniformed worker passes by and disappears into a hidden doorway. If you follow them, you might end up in a warehouse lined with vintage supercars, or a space-aged amphitheatre with rows of executive seating rippling out from a central stage, each with its own bank of touchscreens. Wrapped around the top of that room is a vast circular monitor that can respond to what the audience is tapping into the screens in front of them. This is the McLaren Thought Leadership Centre, nestled next to the legendary car factory in Woking, Surrey. It was the location for a series of shows I was hosting, one of which was called CNN Inspiration's New Frontiers. In it, I interview 3 explorers: Sarah Parkak, who's an archaeologist who uses infrared satellite images to discover lost wonders; Christopher Horsley, who literally climbs into volcanoes to see what's inside; and oceanographer David Gallo, who delivered one of the most watched TED Talks of all time. In Underwater Astonishments in 2007, Gallo takes the audience through a remarkable series of videos from the bottom of the sea. The final clip shows a lump of algae. He keeps people watching until they see an octopus suddenly emerge from it and dart away, leaving a trail of black ink in its wake. Gallo then reverses the video to show the octopus vanishing back into the algae, matching its colour and texture seamlessly. The audience is blown away and they start clapping, and as they do so, Gallo slips off stage with the inimitable line, "Now he's gone and so am I." People leap to their feet spontaneously, and you can feel their excitement and their yearning to hear and see more. Well, before I interviewed Gallo for my show, we spoke about his TED Talk, and he explained that he'd never intended to deliver it in the first place, let alone make it go viral. He'd gone along to the event to watch the other speakers, but one failed to show up, and the organisers asked Gallo to step in. So he went up to his hotel room and checked what he had on his laptop, and he came back down with a series of videos which he simply talked through on stage. He didn't need a script because he'd studied them so closely as part of his work. And he didn't hear much after the talk until the video was posted online. When I asked him why he thought so many people picked up on it there, he told me, "It's not me, it's the octopus." But he's playing his own role down there because the presentation wouldn't have come alive in the way that it did without Gallo's clout. He had credibility as an explorer, character as a speaker, and he was able to connect with his audience in a unique way and engage them in a fascinating conversation. His energy and passion for the subject are palpable and contagious, and that's because he was on a mission, a cause to bring the world's attention to the delicacy of life at the bottom of the sea. But that still doesn't fully explain why the video was shared so many times, and Gallo has a thought about that, and he points me to the comments attached to the online video. He had inadvertently walked into an existential debate, effectively, between creationists and evolutionists. So some of the comments there, this one from Jonathan: "If God exists, I don't think he's going to punish anybody just for accepting evolution, since evolution science does not in any way claim that there isn't a God." Stephen adds, "The Big Bang has never been proven, it's a false idea." But to that, Jake says, also a divine creator has never been proven either. It was an epic argument that is still no closer to resolution all these years after Gallo first presented his talk. He and the octopus became central to that conversation for a while, and though he didn't resolve it, he did manage to steer it towards his cause and raised awareness of sea life, so he was happy with that, he told me. The bigger the conversation that you're part of, the larger your audience and the further your content can potentially go, and he found that. But you need to trigger some sort of emotional response, and you need the credibility to make people want to endorse you by sharing it too. Gallo's TED Talk had all the hallmarks of that. It was a masterclass in developing your clout with a speech. And he repurposed it for the interview that I did with him for CNN. So he managed to widen his audience even further, giving him even more clout. He's a genius.